Hello, everyone, and welcome once again to our meeting that we have every Wednesday, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It is live with Dede here on the Invincible CEO YouTube channel, and I'm so thrilled that you're here, that we can spend this time together to help you get really clear on your manifestation journey. So once again, this is the Invincible CEO YouTube channel. My name is Dede Powerniak. I am the Invincible CEO. I'm here. I'm your guide to help you manifest with ease. And today I'm really excited because we're going to break down manifestation myths. And I know that there's a lot of them out there. I put a couple in the description box when I was putting up this live for today. But I really want you to leave today. The intention for this live is for you to leave very clear, because what do? I help you make clear, concise choices in the now moment so that you know what you chose, that there's no more doubt or fear. We're leaving I am alone. We're leaving survival mode alone. And we are really going to go into getting really clear, back to basics, keeping it simple, getting rid of the myths. What does it all mean? And to kind of give you that breath out today, the ha. So I see Lynn is here from Florida. You kind of jumped in already. Where are you? Where are you viewing from? If you have any questions at any time, please put them in the live chat so that I can address them on screen for you today. I know I'm normally like so full of energy, but I really want to kind of slow it down a little bit today and get really, really clear so that you walk away with a new level of confidence, of certainty in your manifestation journey. Now, this is part 2 of our community chosen video series. Every weekend, I put up a poll. You vote on a topic. I drop the first video on Tuesday of each week. We did that yesterday. How to move in 3D while you're manifesting. What do you do? Right? That's all. How do I persist? How do I know I'm in the wish fulfilled? Did I do the technique enough? Did I do the manifestation enough? Like all the questions that we normally get, we're going to really slow it down and address them here today. So as we're going through this, if you have some questions, put them in that live chat so I can get to them. In addition, I do want to share with you that part 3, Thursday at 5 p.m. in our private community. If you go to the description box below, there's a private community link, and we will do the 3rd video in the series. So there's always going to be a Tuesday part 1. This is part 2 when we go live on the YouTube channel. And then part 3 is live in our community. It's a Zoom-like type of live. So we get to interact a little bit more. In addition to that, I'm really, really excited to share with you that I just started the membership channel for YouTube. So if you look, there should be a little join button underneath the video there. And if you would like to join our membership channel, there are 3 levels. It's all kind of broken down for you what they are. I will be doing members only videos so that in addition to the ones that are here on the regular channel, there'll be additional videos each month. And there's other wonderful perks. So you can take a look, and I will get some videos up about that to share all that with you too. I don't want to take that time here today. I did want to mention it is up and running, and there will be extra videos there, and we can really break things down for you. So, you know, this manifestation thing is so powerful. And we hear over and over that we've been doing it all along, right? Whether you are creating a picture, whether you are making a sandwich, whether you are watching a video, you were always manifesting. This is like a daytime dream. So when you had a dream last night, you shut this reality down. You show yourself that you can move from reality to reality. You shut the reality down. And in doing so, your subconscious projects a whole different mind for you so that you can participate in that reality. And sometimes the dream reality when you go to bed looks like this reality, and other times it looks nothing like it. And I can see right now, I'm going to take a moment because it seems like the Wi-Fi may be a little bit wonky. So I'm going to just change this over to my reality Sorry about that. There's a little bit of craziness with the Wi-Fi, so I wanted to make sure I switched it over to the hotspot to make sure that we have this going on and we will not be interrupted as we go forward. So Lynn is saying she realized after yesterday's video that getting frustrated is okay, and it doesn't take me out of my wish fulfilled. Good. I'm glad you got that. So I want to, before we go into the manifestation myths and we're going to debunk things here, I really want to take the time to put in perspective what this is all about. And we're manifesting all the time, but the majority of the time prior to this, we could say that we were unaware and that we would create things such as, when you're creating something for work or you're actually physically doing something, and manifestation takes you out of the physicalness of things and it puts you into the more mental state, because we exist in these three states. And when we do this, we realize that even when we're physically creating things, we're still in a mental state. And the mind, your mind, we're actually going to get rid of the mind today, right? Because all of this is a story. And we created this mind, and then we created it into sections, right? We have the unconscious, we have the subconscious, we have the conscious. When we start to step back a little bit, and let's get rid of the three separate minds, or the three pieces of the mind. And even if we took it to duality, it would be like active and passive mind. Let's get rid of the mind totally, and let's just call it consciousness. That all of this is happening within our consciousness. We are consciously aware. So prior, we would say that we were awake and aware when we were moving through life. But what manifestation does, it kind of amplifies the now moment, where we become even more aware that we are aware. So I'm going to give you a little experience right now. So prior to what I'm about to do, you're watching this video. You're aware of that this is alive and that you're watching this video. But I'm going to use the example of sitting, but we can do it with standing. So let's say you're sitting right now, and if somebody walked in the room, you wouldn't have to say, oh, by the way, I'm sitting. They would look at you and they would see that you're sitting, or that you, just like myself, I can see that I'm sitting here right now. And when we're in the story, it's a you understood. We don't have to say it out loud. We don't have to say it to ourselves. I'm sitting right now. It just is. And when you're in that isness of things, you don't realize that's what you're doing, because your conscious awareness isn't needed for that, because it's a given. It's part of the script. So when we're talking about I am, that and being conscious, most people would say that's what that is. But now we're going to take it and we're going to amplify it. And that's what manifestation does. It takes what's going on, which doesn't need a story, and then it brings you as the awareness to become more aware of being aware. Because right now, whether you're dreaming or you're in your daytime dream, you're creating and experiencing simultaneously, but you're not aware that that's what's going on until I just pointed it out. But going back to our sitting example, and you can do the same thing with standing, I'm going to bring more awareness to sitting. So not only now are you aware that you're sitting, but you were before, but now you can see that you have more awareness of your sitting. But do you realize that your butt is touching the chair or whatever it is you're sitting on? And all of a sudden, you went from being in a story, being aware that you're sitting, and now really being aware that your butt is touching the chair. And that is powerful awareness. Even though it was happening the whole time, you now have amplified awareness of the butt touching the chair. So now stay sitting and become unaware of it. And you can't. That's what awareness does. Once you're aware of something, to deliberately think yourself out of it or to try to become unaware of it makes it more aware. And that's what's happening when we start manifestation. where we become aware that maybe you don't have the partner you want, or there's not enough money, or whatever the story is. It was the story. You became more aware of that aspect of the story, just like you became aware of sitting. And now you became so aware of all the details of the story that you want them to change. And again, just like when you're sitting in the chair and your butt's touching the chair and you're trying to become unaware of your butt touching the chair, the more you try to become, you're giving attention and focus to it. So what do? You got to go into a different state of being, a different state of consciousness, a different level of consciousness. Oh, I like that light that's coming in behind me there. It looks really sharp, the little rainbow coming down. I just became aware of that. And so how would you become unaware of your butt touching the chair? You'd have to go from the state of sitting to standing up, because once you stand up, your butt's no longer touching the chair. And you don't have to tell yourself that, and you become unaware that it's not. And if you sat down again right away, you would be more aware of your butt touching the chair than if you would normally just sit down. So time and space have to pass. Go walk around, go do something else. Eventually, you're going to sit down again, and you may not be as aware as you once were. And then maybe once you're sitting there, you become aware of it again, and you might laugh. Oh, your butt's touching the chair again, right? But eventually, enough will happen. You'll get busy enough, and you'll forget about it. But every single time you sit down, your butt's touching the chair or whatever it is that you're sitting on. So when you, in the beginning of manifestation, start putting that new level of awareness on, and you've chosen something new that you want, most of the time you're choosing something to solve a problem, to put out a fire of an old reality, because we're taught to be problem solvers, right? If you go downstairs in your kitchen, there's not enough food, you go to the store, you buy the food, right? You're solving a problem, even though it may not seem like a problem at the time. So you're coming out of a conditioned mind that's what it does. So as it's learning this new process, it wants to do the same thing with manifestation. And it can really make manifestation seem like it's this crazy thing. It's a frustrating thing, because you're trying to use the old mindset, the old way of being, instead of allowing this new way to come in. And then the mind that wants to always put a story on top of things creates new stories, and it wants to learn and it wants to intellectualize it, but it can't. Could you imagine doing the same process with going to the bathroom? It's just something that naturally happens, and you're aware of the signals in your body, and you know when to move the body to get to the place where you need to do the thing, where you need to do the thing. But you don't have to go learn about it. You don't have to go research it. And that's kind of what we're doing here with the debunking of the myths here. So yeah, in yesterday's part 1 video, I said there's only two things that you need to do. And you don't need to do anything, but it's for dramatic purposes. You need to do to know that it's done. And again, before I get to those two things again, the I am, I want you to pick something today, or whenever you're watching this video, that you aware that that I am is activated and nothing else needs to be done with I am. So it could be, let's say when you wake up in the morning and you open your eyes and you're aware, right? You really are becoming aware that you're in a 3D reality. Not that you can't feel the bed underneath you. And maybe that's it. Maybe it's the moment that you become conscious even before you open your eyes. Or it could be that you want to hear. Or it could be that you take your first breath of the day. Whatever it is that happens for you, and you can play with different ones, where I open my eyes and I go, I just got here. So now I'm consciously aware in this reality, and that is I am, right? I am, she is, he is, they are, we are. Whatever it is that all of a sudden you realize that you weren't here and now you are, right? And the best example of that is waking up in the morning time. And there's an assumption that you've been here the whole time. So that is I am. It is that you, within the body, become aware that you are a body, and that you're in a reality. That is I am. So whether it's the first breath, whether you're hearing, whether you're seeing, whatever it is for you, let's decide that right now. And if you can take a moment, put it in the chat. What will it be for you? Where are you guys watching from besides Lynn? Who else is here with us today? I see a bunch of you guys have joined in, so thank you so much. Because the problem with I am in manifestation, it creates a paradox because it requires words and it requires thinking of what you call thinking. And we condition, I am is pure. Once you're aware, you're aware. You are the awareness that is aware that you're being aware. Just like you're the sitter who's always been sitting, but now that you're aware that you're sitting and that your butt's touching the chair. So when we put a condition after the I am happy, I am wealthy. The mind, what you call the mind, will accept it if it already believes it to be a truth in the version of the reality that you believe you just came from. Hey there. Hey, hello from Jersey. So now if you're going to say, I am wealthy, and you're coming out of a story that you're not, you're creating a paradox within the mind, which causes doubt, fear, and wobble, because it's a lower, I am is a very lower consciousness. Not that there's anything wrong with it. Consciousness has to start somewhere. There has to be the baseline. But it is the consciousness of being. And when you're an active individual in an active world, just being aware is, you try to explain it over and over, but you can't explain that which you are at your essence. You just have to experience it, right? And Linda says, hello. Linda says, when I open my eyes, first thing, I'm aware of when I woke up. Okay, good. That's when, so you can say that's when this version of you began. Not the version from yesterday, not the version from the middle of the night, not the version from last week. You are no longer a continuous human being. You are a consciousness that, if we say you have one day, that version of you that opened your eyes has one day to move the character on the game board. And you are driving the car, which is the body. And when you're driving the car, you're the one in charge. You're the operant power, right? So let's use a car for a second. When you're driving the car, if I go to my car, it doesn't turn on unless I turn it on, whether I put a key in or I push a button. I got to boop the car door to open it up. I sit in the seat, and whether I push a button, turn the key, I turn it on. I'm the operant power. I'm the operator that is moving the machine. It can't move on its own. I know cars are coming that can, but we're not talking about those. So it doesn't back up until I put it in reverse. It doesn't move forward until I put it in drive. It can't tell me no. I mean, the car cannot start. That was a whole different story. But what it started, and when I want to back it up, it can't tell me no. So this is like your subconscious. Your subconscious does not think for itself. It does not form words. It can't say no. It can't reject anything. And another example I give, it's like a bowl. If I go downstairs in my kitchen and get a really big bowl, the bowl will accept what the bowl will accept. Whatever I can put in the bowl, whether it's liquid, if it's powder, if it's sugar, I could put socks in the bowl if I want to put socks in the bowl. It can't tell me no. And I can put socks and flour and sugar in the bowl at the same time. It can't tell me no. So I have to be the discerning power and be aware of what it is that I'm doing. So as this operant power, and you become aware that you're conscious, it would be the same thing as like being aware you just turned your car on, and that being aware that you're the one that has to move the car. You are moving the reality. The reality does not exist without your awareness to it, regardless of what you've been taught about object permanence. And every time I go into my car, it's a brand new version of that car, because every time my mind is creating a duplicate of what it believes that I believe my car looks like. So when we're trying to shift these realities, the reason why manifestation may not be showing up is because there isn't a congruence between what you've chosen and what the operating system believes should be there. So we'll get to that in a minute. If you have any questions along the way, let me know. So now here you are, you're aware, and I am is the awareness that is aware that it is aware. And the moment that you try to become aware of something that the old system would say, no, you're not, you're creating the contradiction. And that's all about survival mode, because it will keep you in fear that if you want to shift things, that somehow you're going to be in trouble and you're going to make things worse. And as I mentioned in the video yesterday, we heard a teacher saying that you can't complain when you're manifesting and that the universe is testing you. And we'll get to all those in a second again. And then that causes the doubt and questions within yourself. Did you do it enough? Did I choose correctly? Does my subconscious mind know that I chose? We're going to get to all of that today, because we'll go back to the two things. You need two things besides your awareness. And that's why I share things like 0 point. Do you have to do 0 point? Absolutely not. But do something for you that you know without a doubt, no matter how much time and space pass by, because eventually time and space can be replaced with awareness. That's how things happen faster in a shorter amount of time and more amazing than you ever think. And this is why I don't go too much into Bible allegories, because my whole thinking with I am is meant to keep you thinking. It's meant to keep you wanting to learn more instead of experiencing. I create the next level is all about experiencing, and all you need to learn and all you need to know is in the experience, in the now, instead of a reflection of what you think you experienced or what you think you should know in order to have the experience. And I shared before, as a mom, I read all the books. And did it prepare me? I guess, but it wasn't until the baby was in my hands and I had to deal with whatever was happening is whatever's happening. That's where you connect. That's where you understand this. That's why just watching videos is a manifestation of video watching, and you're killing it. You are a master video watcher because you have nothing but that wonderful experience of it. But you can't expect the money to show up watching a video, because every manifestation is very specific to the experience that you're having. That's how you know whatever is being wish fulfilled in the now moment. So if you're frustrated, you're experiencing the wish fulfilled of frustration. If you're angry, you're experiencing the wish fulfilled of anger. So the two things you need is to know what you've chosen and to know it so that you will be so stubborn that if someone or something comes to you and tries to talk you out of it and tell you no, you didn't, you know, you did something, whether it was 0 point or something else. You could do some jumping jacks, sing a song, whatever it is. It's like you're putting an exclamation point, you're putting a pin down and saying, no, I was here, right? If you were an explorer, you found, boom, this moment, and you know what you chose, and you're not going to wobble. So that's why we want to make clear, concise choices in the now moment, because most of the time, what's happening in front of you is nothing. Nothing. And when you're not focusing on something specific, your mind's echoes come in from other realities that are not happening to you right now, but come in so strong that they make you feel like it's real. So let me give you an example. And it's funny, I had a comment the other day on my hair, like, she can manifest anything. Why is she manifesting her hair like this? And I appreciate those comments. I do. And it's because I'm in the gym a lot right now because I'm shredding. Not that I owe an explanation, right? But this version of me right now is not in the gym. This version of me right now is carrying the memory of the other versions that have. So I get the benefit of having all these muscles right now and the shredding down that I'm doing. And you can see how that's starting to form. But yet I'm not in the gym right now. And that's where that memory serves me. And why my hair's up is because I'm doing so much extra gym work and cardio for this beautiful shred and bulk that's happening simultaneously. So you can choose to bring in those things, but right now what's happening is not the gym. But I still identify as that version that is. Regardless, if let's say this is a day where I didn't go into the gym or I still have to go, I still identify as her. I don't let my mind say to me, no, you can't be her because you didn't go into the gym today and you didn't push any weights around. Well, then why do I get all the muscles? Why do I still have all the muscles? And that's where identity in the concept, because I know what I chose. I know who I am, and I don't let anybody or anything or any echoes tell me otherwise. And I've showed you pictures before of my transformation. And I believed when I was 80 pounds overweight that I looked like I do now, even though everyone in my reality, the pictures in my reality, the videos in my reality would have said I was so far from that. So God Queen asks, what is the subconscious mind relation to the universe and planes of existence? Okay, it's all one big story. It's all one big story you're telling, even though it seems like it's the story outside of you that you learned somewhere. But either you're all of this or you're not, just like the dream that you shared with me, God Queen, where we were in a dream together. You created that. Your consciousness created that. Your consciousness put me in your dream. As far as I know, I didn't get up from my bed that night and hop into another reality, into your dream. So your consciousness is taking what's familiar to you and showing you that you're shifting. So there's always going to be a story in reality to explain something. But let me take this a little step further than going into the universe and planes of existence. Let's look at history, right? And it doesn't matter what thing in history, it could have been last week or it could have been 100 years ago or 500 years ago. None of it's happening right now. None of it's happening right now. And you can't prove that it happened the way that people are saying that it happened because they weren't there either. Right? If we're talking about something that was 200 years ago, none of us that are here now were there then. So there's a story that makes us believe that there was a history. And the history and the story would reflect the level of consciousness that you're on. So if you're in a low consciousness, the history would reflect a low consciousness. Maybe a little bit of evolution. And that's when you start to realize how much you accept as an assumption as to whatever story you're in. And that's why I said in the video yesterday that these other teachers that are saying your universe is testing you and don't you dare complain or you're not going to get your manifestation, you naughty manifestor, you. Shame, shame, shame. Two things you need. One, you know what you chose. And two, you know what it looks like when it arrives. That's it. So when I used the example of you meeting me for lunch yesterday, you chose to meet me for lunch. We weren't meeting at a restaurant. We were going, in the example, we were going to meet at my house. You were going to drive to my house. So you know what you chose. Yes, I'm going to meet Dede for lunch. And we're going to meet up at her house. So you put the address in your GPS. And your GPS is your subconscious mind. So when you're choosing something for manifestation, choose it like it's on Amazon. Choose it because you want to know what it would be like for it to show up, not to put out a fire, not to fix an old reality, not to fix a hole in your heart, because The you that's broken is never fixed. The you that's sick is never healthy. The you that's healthy is never sick. The you that's whole is never broken. So since you're the consciousness, and I see consciousness as the breath, right? As I'm breathing right now, I'm experiencing my own consciousness of breath. So then I become aware that I'm in a body and that I'm breathing and I'm seeing and I'm hearing. And right now, if I wasn't doing this video, I'd be in a room and there's not a whole lot going on. And I have no idea which version I am. I have no idea which version I am, other than I can see my color of my nails. I can see what clothes I have on. But if I'm not in front of a mirror, I can kind of feel that I'm muscular, but I don't know what day it is. I don't know what the bank account looks like, what job I have. Like, because when you just got here, there's no story other than you've opened your eyes and you're breathing. That is the story. You're zeroed out. So then you have this ability to allow echoes to come into the consciousness because nothing's happening. So why not make sure whatever comes in, whether it's in what you would call your mind or you're interacting with the physical 3D reality, and you know what you've chosen, everything must add on to you, not take away from you, not keep it like it was. So you automatically know there's always movement. Things are always moving towards the big reveal. And if, let's say you decided, Dede, I've never had $10,000 show up out of the blue. Okay, so here you are, and you chose for $10,000 to show up out of the blue. Are there realities where you need that money right now? Absolutely. Are there realities where it'd be nice if it came in, it's not a big deal? Absolutely. Are there realities that you have so much money, you don't even care about $10,000? Absolutely. But when you wake up in the morning, you don't know which one you're in. You haven't identified with it other than you know what you chose. You went to bed last night and you know that when you wake up in the morning, you're in the reality that $10,000 extra is going to show up, regardless of anything else. So when you get up and move around your day and you have a job to go to, or you have kids to take care of, or whatever the story is, you can just go and do your story. And it doesn't matter if you laugh all day long. It doesn't matter if you cry all day long. It doesn't matter if you complain all day long. You know what you chose, and you know what it looks like when it shows up. Now, 10,000 out of the blue, you've never had before. So what I suggest is like create 10, 15 different fun ways. Some of them can be logical. You get a raise. There's a check in the mail that shows up for some type of refund or lawsuit that you didn't know you were in. You could open up your closet and there's $10,000 that you, as this version of you, have no idea how it got there. And then you can create just total delusional ones, like you're just sitting here and all of a sudden your ceiling opens up and $10,000 rains down on you. Like when you start to create, not because not because I need that money to show up, I have a bill to pay, that's survival mode, right? We're out of that. When you go to I create, it's like, oh, how creative, if there is this mind and it's here to serve me and give me exactly what I asked for, because all I have to do is I know what I asked for, I know what it looks like, and I don't change my mind. I don't change my mind and not want that anymore. You can add and you can say, well, I want 25,000. Well, don't negate the 10, let the 10 still come and then have the additional 25. It doesn't have to be either or anymore. Does that make sense, guys? So when you're in I create, you're looking to experience energetically, mentally, physically, what it feels like to be the creator of 10,000. And then when you move around the 3D for the whole day, because you got to the 24 hours as this version of you that just got here, Where will it be? You could open up a drawer. Are you in here? You can play peekaboo, hide and seek with it. There's a closet. It could be you walk into the supermarket and you're the 1 millionth customer and you get $10,000 bonus. Then all of 3D reality, all of the texts, all of the emails, all of the phone calls, all of the physical interactions with other humans, all of the Zoom calls, all of the videos are all potential co-conspirators to bring you that $10,000 showing up out of the blue. And if by the end of the day, you didn't physically experience it in the physical reality, where can you experience it? In the mental one. Close your eyes and go in and experience receiving it. You're not spending it. You're just there to receive it. And when you receive it over and over, and you're excited like you would be, however it is for you, and your mind, what we would say is the mind, the subconscious, because now you're giving attention to that. You're not trying to figure out how to make it, where to get it from, how to pay the bill. You're now in this beautiful flow of creation, which your subconscious already understands because you're doing it anyway. So if you have a beat up old car on your driveway and you want that wonderful BMW or Mercedes, when we talk about what would it feel like to be in that car, well, I don't know, I've never had that. Well, you know what it is when it's ordinary, make it ordinary, right? However you walk out to your car now is how you're going to walk out because it's already done. It's already here. So to tell you that your universe is testing you, this is one of my biggest pet peeves. Unless as the creator, knock your socks off if you want to be in a reality where you create being tested. Because why would you think that's what it is? Because you come from a reality when you learn something new, you were being tested. Duh, makes sense, right? Isn't that how you learned in school? You learned something new, the teacher gave you a test. Then you passed the test or you didn't pass the test. Except now when you're doing reality creation and manifestation, if you're going to believe that you're going to be tested in order to get the thing, make sure you pass the test. What does that look like when you pass the test? But then don't get mad at someone like me who doesn't have to pass the test and I get it a lot faster and a lot bigger and, and you're over there still wondering where your stuff is. So the consciousness is aiding to create one's reality through the version you're being. Yeah. Therefore, the only action is to choose and maintain the choice. But isn't that what you do when you go and you order food at a restaurant? You make a choice and then you maintain that choice. Because if the waiter brings out your choice and you've changed your mind, they got to take that back and then take a new order. It's so freaking obvious. This is why manifestation is so simple. You don't sit there after you've ordered your food and go, how do I maintain this? How do I maintain this? How do I make sure? You don't. Because this is why when we say to you that you've been manifesting your whole life, this is what it is. So therefore, the only action is to choose and maintain the choice. It makes it easier because you're utilizing that. That's why staying out of I am, because in the I am manifestation game, you're wanting to create something that you're not. Because why would you create something you already are and you already have? We don't do that. And your subconscious knows that. And it also knows you, and it knows when you are, there's a big difference between pretending and going all in with something, being surface level. So, think of an actor or actress where they are so good at what they do, you forget that you're watching an actor or actress and you're forgetting any other role that they've ever been in because they're so good and it's so believable. And then we've seen those actors and actresses where it's just surface level and it's really bad acting. Your subconscious knows the difference when you're pretending and when you're all in. So you don't have to impress that's another one. You don't have to impress the subconscious mind. It's everything. It's all there. That's where all the stuff is that you're activating. The only one that you're convincing is the conscious version of you. If you're in I am and you're trying to convince yourself that you're wealthy when you're not, or you have your partner when they're not there, or especially if the partner might be with someone else. And that's why it's so frustrating. And then you're wondering if you're doing it right, because that level of consciousness is meant to bring you into thought and to loops. When you're in creation, when you decide, I'm going to meet Dede for lunch, and you put my address in your GPS, and you know how to drive a car already, and you know how to listen to directions as you drive the car. And if there's any type of wrong turn that you make, right? Am I doing it right? Did I make a wrong turn? It'll reroute you immediately. It doesn't take you all the way back to the beginning. It doesn't send you to the principal's office and tell you to do it better next time or give it more life. When you're driving your car, you know how much reality to give to driving the car. So much so that you can have conversations while you drive the car. You can sing along to the radio when you drive the car. You can have thoughts in your head about what to make for dinner when you're driving the car, because that's when you know things are on autopilot. And when something is on autopilot, it means you and the conscious you and the subconscious you are one, and time and space don't matter. How do I know this? Think of a song that you know by heart from when you were like 13. You may not hear that song every day. You may not have heard it for years, but the second that song plays, you know all the words. You know all the words. That's when you know the conscious mind and the subconscious are one, and it doesn't matter where time and space or any of that stuff, because it's awareness. It's awareness. You want to get rid of time and space, then spend time in awareness. Because when you are aware that it was done before you even knew to ask for it, because how else would you know what to call it if it wasn't already done? And even if there's only one, like you want this car and there's only one on the planet, well, you created it. So your mind can either create a second one, or it'll create the way that that one will make its way to you. And just like when you're driving to my house for lunch, you don't have to do anything else. Hey, Greta from PA. All you have to do is to decide to continue on until you reach the wish fulfilled physically. And everything that happens, whether you're moving in the right direction or the mind will tell you you're going backwards or things are getting worse, all of it is part of it, because the moment that it shifts and it becomes physical, it shifts. Great example. You buy a lottery ticket for whatever the drawing is for tonight, and your accounts are overdrawn. You're about to get thrown out of your house. Your car's on the verge of being repossessed. You don't know what to do. You got a roof with a leak going on. Your partner left you because they're tired of all of this. They don't want to live like this anymore. And just like that, you win the jackpot tonight. Boom. You still got the leaky roof. The partner's still not physically there. The accounts are still overdrawn. But what changed? You did. But most of the time, you're waiting for the outside stimulus to tell you that. Manifestation is saying to you, realize it first, and then it will reflect out there. And you hear lottery winners say all that. Some of them will be like, I knew it was going to happen. It took 10 years, but I knew it was going to happen. And you have other lottery winners going, it's the first time I've ever played, or I never thought I was going to win. So how awesome is that? Thank you, Greta. Thank you so much. Powerful stuff here, guys. So excited to bring this to you. And that's why I love working with you. You're welcome for the casino video. Because you're always going to be having conversations, right? That's why when I open my eyes and I become aware that I'm here, I know I don't have to be tested. because I've already given myself a pass. I never have to take another test ever again in any way, shape, or form in my whole entire life. And I know that I can be me, that I don't have to walk on eggshells. I'm not going to allow a narcissistic mind come in and tell me that I'm not allowed to complain, that I'm not allowed to curse, that I always have to be perfect, or else I'm going to get sent to the principal's office. I'm going to be in big trouble. No, I came here to be human. I want to laugh. I want to cry. I want to be frustrated. I want to get angry. I want it all. I want the whole experience. Because if I wanted to be a saint or an angel, then I would have created that kind of experience for me. And when you realize all of those things are just stories, it's okay. Who's feeling who? You learn you can feel your own feelings, but you can't feel mine, right? Of course, you got to feel your own. And now it's all part of it. But what's most important is your focus right now, right? That's why I like working with you guys, one-on-one, in groups, in membership channel, all the stuff. Because it's about your focus right here, right now. And I love using the Abraham Hicks 17 seconds. Because the way I look at it is this: you got 17 seconds. You got 17 seconds for an echo to come in, and you can play with it. And it's roughly about that much before your subconscious mind believes that's your point of focus. That's all that means. And it's kind of like waiting there, because your subconscious mind is always about 7 to 10 seconds ahead of you, right? So if I'm walking through the woods, I'm hiking through the woods, I can see about 7 to 10 seconds in front of me, because sometimes I have to go around a bend or go up a hill. And it's an assumption that as I get there, more and more of it will unfold as I'm walking, right? Because not all of it needs to be there right now. So your subconscious is always about 7 to 10 seconds ahead of you, because it's creating the reality that you think is permanent, that you think this physical world, when you walk outside in your neighborhood, is right there right now. And I'm telling you, it's not, because it's not needed. The mind does not render something that's not needed. My car is not in this room right now because it's not needed. But when I go and move my physical body to that version of my consciousness, because all of this is my consciousness, it will be there. And in the small chance that it wouldn't be there, my mind would come up with a story. Oh, it's at the shop. Oh, one of the kids are borrowing it. Whatever, right? It doesn't always go to, oh, it's missing, somebody took it, because I don't live in those realities. That's no longer even an option. I'm safe in my own imagination, because all of this is my imagination. So you're not being tested. You don't have to impress the subconscious mind. It's already there. It's like the buffet. Everything's on the menu. Everything's on the menu. It just means, which version are you looking through the eyeballs? Which version are you hearing through the ears? Are you the version that knows that you chose, that knows no matter what, the program is activated that will get you to do and meet up with whoever it is that you want, but the subconscious has to honor the filters or the assumptions. I gave this example before. I'll give it again. I have a lamp. I went to the store and I bought a pack of light bulbs, and there's 6 different colors. I was so excited. I came home. I put the red light bulb, screwed it into the lamp, turned it on. It was beautiful red light. It's a filter. Was so excited, turned it off, unscrewed the red light bulb, put the green one in, turned it on. It was so cool. It was green light bulb. I expect the green to give me green. I expect the red to give me red. But what's important is that the energy going through the lamp is the same regardless of the filter. You are, and that energy that goes through the lamp is the consciousness, right? We'd say that's the consciousness that goes through the filter. You are the consciousness, and these echoes, these thoughts are the filters, but they're not needed. Because if you know what you chose, what other thought do you need? If you chose to visit me for lunch and you have my address, and The GPS is barking out the orders of where to turn, where to go straight, for how long. If you miss a turn, it'll reroute you immediately. If there's a blockage and it has to send you back in the opposite direction for one exit, because that's the quickest way to get you to me now based on the current circumstances, it's not that you're screwing up and you're going in the wrong direction. It knows, your subconscious knows the quickest way. It's just, if it could beg you, it can't beg you, but if it could beg you to just be still, stop the noise, stop the thoughts, and trust that you chose. And let's face it, let's say we decided to give you the role of the subconscious, right? Abracadabra, you're now the subconscious. Would you really torture your character? Would you really put in 25 extra steps that the character doesn't need? Would you embarrass the character? Would you shame your character? No, unless as the subconscious, that's what your character was asking for. Because if you are a victim, but you want $10,000, it can give you $10,000, but you have to be in victim mode if that's how you think. But if you think as a victim, you'll never get $10,000, it doesn't matter how many manifestation techniques you do, how much you meditate. Because if you always come back to that version of you that doesn't have it, and for those of you that need worthiness and need justification because of conditioning, tell me what it is that was so terrible that you did that you don't deserve the life of your dreams, that you don't deserve the partner of your dreams, that you don't deserve all the money in the world. What is it that was so terrible that you've done that you would choose as the subconscious, as subconscious higher self, that you would deny yourself that? But every day that you get up and choose, I want this, subconscious goes, absolutely, it's yours. Now just be quiet. And when I move you, you'll be moved. And don't worry, go about your normal day, because wherever you are, there's an opportunity for you to meet that person. Wherever you are, there's an opportunity for it to show up. And it will. But you got to be in the version that already has it, that you don't care that it's not. And when you least expect it, it does. But you are expecting it when you least expect it. Does that make sense? That's why if you're in I am, that's that paradox again, if that makes sense. I don't know if you guys can hear, the puppies are barking away. So this is such a joy for me to come and do this and to offer this and to work with you and to design programs for you. Because I always say, give me 3 months. We don't even need 3 months, but give me 3 months and you will be living a whole different consciousness, not a life, not a body. All of that's included. How amazing do you want to see yourself? And not only for you, because when I'm creating a healthy life for myself, I don't want it just for me. I want everybody in my reality to be healthy. Because what good is me being healthy and other people can't come and play because they're not? That doesn't make any sense. So not only have I created a life of wealth, have I created a life of health, have I created a life of happiness? And guess what, guys? If you're here, you're in that world. What affirmations can we use instead of I am? I want to get you away from words. Great question, Ryan. Because when you're creating, you're not saying I create, but your active mind understands creation. So now the next time you go and you make a sandwich, if you want to say, but it's unnecessary, but you can say, I create a sandwich. And you can do abracadabra. I create a sandwich and then make the sandwich. Your subconscious follows the leader. So if that means you're a little bit extra demonstrative in what you're doing, then be it. In yesterday's video, I don't know if you saw the little section where I shared that whenever the kids would ask me for something, because I'm their magical genie, they'd have to, and I go, who am I? And they go, you're the best mom in the whole wide world with a cherry on top. Well, I put two different videos up in yesterday's long video back to back. And in the first video, there's 3 girls in the video. Only one of them is my child. It was done so much that all of their friends just join in. Like, that's how you know you're creating. So let affirmations go, because once you open your eyes, you don't have to tell yourself all day, I'm seeing, I'm seeing, I'm hearing, and I'm seeing, I'm feeling my butt touch the chair. You don't have to affirm what already is. But when you're creating, and that's why actions speak louder than words. If I say to myself, I create wealth. I create wealth. Well, okay, Dede, what do I have to do? Well, I can make a sandwich. I'm creating wealth. There's a wealth of food. I'm creating this video. I'm creating wealth. Do I know what exactly that means for me right now? No, but I know I'm creating. And if I'm creating and I'm creating wealth, then everything I do is part of that. I'm creating happiness. Why would I do something that doesn't make me happy? You know, when I was growing up, and even in some of the jobs that I had in my career, I remember going for my interview, finally, took multiple attempts because I wasn't going anywhere. You want to talk about persisting? Every time they posted the posting for me to become an investigator, it was, first time was an internal freeze. I think they didn't have enough money. And then there was a hiring freeze, and I just kept coming back. And I joked and said, they're eventually just going to give it to me because they're like, oh, here she is again. Let's just give it to her. But I did have to go for the interview. And I remember my then to-be boss doing this interview, and he says to me, you know, asking me all the questions of, you know, what is it that you think this job's going to be? What can you add? And he says to me at one point, he goes, you know, tell me your strengths. And then he says, tell me your weaknesses that would prevent you from doing a good job as an investigator. And I paused and I said, I don't got any. And he's like, come on, everybody has weaknesses. And I'm like, well, you're asking me to bet against myself. You're asking me to create something that doesn't exist right now. So when I get this job, if I'm telling you I have these weaknesses, I'm going to step into these weaknesses and you're going to see them and you're going to be more aware of them because I just told you what they are right now. So why not instead give me the job, let me play with it, and let me show you what I can do instead of sit here and try to guess how I can't do my job. That made no sense to me whatsoever. So ridiculous. Yeah, exactly, Stacy. But that's what we're doing all day long. Because the moment that you have an idea, a really good, remember, if it adds to you, even if you don't know which character you're in that moment, if it adds to you, it's worth that 17 seconds. Because if right now, I'm like, all right, guys, let's all go run a marathon together. And you're like, whoa, wait a minute. You're getting a little crazy there. Or let's go do a 3-day water fast. No, hey, now, wait. And right away, your mind's going to tell you why you can't. You can't do that. You can't do that. Nope. You remember your knee? You can't do a marathon, your knee. And right away, it's like crucifying you to that outcome. It's arguing for limitations. And if you give it that 17 seconds, then the subconscious goes, got you. That's all right. Let's activate that program because it can only say yes to you. So changing your thoughts will raise your frequency naturally to attract. You don't need thoughts. Get rid of them. Go thoughtless. Go mindless. When you're aware, let's take a moment. Let's be aware. You don't need thoughts to be aware because you're seeing through eyeballs. You're hearing through ears, sniffing through your nose, right? 5 senses, 5 sensual awareness. Look at you existing. You are existing so good that you got this existence thing down. That's what I am is. I exist, right? I am aware. I am aware. You got this awareness thing down. So This is the other thing I wanted to really make a point, and I don't know if I made the point in yesterday's video like I wanted to, so I want to make sure I get this in now. Let's say you out there watching that you want this $10,000, and you're aware that in this asking, you don't have that much in your bank account right now. Though you sit in aware of all the wealth around you, because most likely you're sitting in a house that's worth more than $10,000 or a room. And even if you don't own it, possession is ownership. You're there. It's all yours. So now, in this moment of the jump off of the starting line, you're no longer asking for the $10,000 because you don't have it. But now you've asked for the 10,000 for 10,000 to show up. But the old reality still reflects the old choice. So now, if an hour from now you went and looked at your bank account and it's not there, all it means is that it's not there. That's it. Because if your bank account's $500, that's the $500 reality. If your bank, but you didn't ask for it necessarily in your bank account, you just asked for it to show up. So now when you're looking at your bank account, you're not looking at it as proof that you have it. You're just going, will it be there? Oh, nope, it's not that. Okay, it's not there. That's ruled out. Is it my sock drawer? I'll go check my sock drawer. I could check the check box. I don't call it a mailbox. I call it what it is. It's a check box. That's the box where checks come in. There's other papers in there too. I don't know what they are, but I'm only concerned with the check box, the checks that come in the check box. You start to take this 3D reality and you tell it what it is to you. It's just a place where the manifestation can show up. And if it's not showing up there, all that's happening in the now moment is that it's not showing up there. Could it show up there later? It could. Just because it's not there now doesn't mean it won't be there later, or it could be somewhere else. And that's where you keep everything so light and neutral, right? Because that's all it ever is, Ryan. Really, that's all it ever is. But when you're in a story, you forget you're in a story. Just like when you're in a pool, you're wet. You forget that you're wet until you step out of the pool. Then you realize you're wet. But when you're in the pool, you're in the pool. So when you're in a story and you believe that there's $500 in your bank account and you want 10,000, and based on your story, I mean, could it show up randomly? I guess it could. Is it probable? Most likely in that kind of story, no. But you could sneeze and it be there. You could win the lottery and you don't even have to buy the lottery ticket. It could be bought for you. You could walk out and find it on the ground and it's the winning lottery ticket. If you find the winning Powerball lottery ticket for the grand prize on the ground, are you really going to go look for the owner or whoever was the initial purchaser? Because remember, if you find a lottery ticket on the ground, that lottery ticket never came out of a machine in your reality. In your reality, it existed on the ground where you found it, because everything is instant manifestation. And if everything in instant manifestation is the story, no words are needed, if the ticket's found on the ground, that's where it was birthed. It never belonged to anyone else. But if you believe it did, and you go start searching, I promise you, you will find an owner. So in my world, everything is instant manifestation. And if it's not meant for me, it will already be in someone else's possession. But if it shows up in my awareness and there's no one else around, it's my reality. I'm the only one there. And I have no problem with that whatsoever. And as you are showing your mind, yes, I like this. I like it showing up this way. It's not that your mind's testing you. You're declaring in that moment through your actions who you are. And if thoughts aren't needed, then we don't need any echoes coming in and going, that's not very nice of you. You can't do that. What are you doing that for? Weren't you taught better? Because if the reality you were in was to your benefit, you wouldn't have to be doing this right now. And when you realize that everyone is you pushed out and everyone's pushed out to an assumption that you have, they're going to say the words that match that assumption. Just like, that's why I put in the video yesterday, I'm the best mom in the whole wide world with a cherry on top. So not only did my kids say that, but their friends said that. And I never had to direct the friends to say that too, because everything mimics me. Everything mimics me, regardless whether they're biologically related to me or not, because reality wants to be in on it. Reality wants to be part of the show, part of the game. All right, guys, this has been a lot of fun. So you're not being tested. Declare right now, put it in the chat. You never have to take another test again. And if for some strange reason you automatically get a passing, you automatically pass, right? But we don't have to take that. No more tests. You can complain. Can you believe I get my manifestations all the time? I can't believe I can't stop getting manifestations. Like, I can't create a reality where I don't get my manifestation. I try to not get my manifestation. Like, that's the kind of complaining, right? Complaining is complaining. It's an expression of you. You don't have to impress the subconscious mind. You just got to know which character you're in based on what you chose, and that you haven't contradicted your choice. Oh, wait, wait. I heard the record player scratch. Wait, how do I know now if I didn't contradict my choice? Okay. You asked for $10,000. Asking for 13,000 doesn't contradict 10. It adds to it. So now 23,000 is coming. Like, you can always ask for more money. And if you change the amount, you're not contradicting, you're adding. Remember, everything adds on to you. Do you see how this is? So why, if I change the amount, or let's say I want a lottery win, but now I also want Bitcoin, and your subconscious, I promise you, is going, no, you only get one. Which one's going to be? No, because it can't do that. All the subconscious goes is yes, 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 yes. You want a trust fund, you want Bitcoin, and you want a lottery win. Oh, aren't you greedy? Aren't you so greedy? No. I never had to take a test, but any perceived test is already, that's it. Absolutely. Like, is there any other ones before we end this? Any other myths? You're the operant power. All the operant power means is you're operating. You are the one operating. When you drive a car, you're the operant power. When you're cooking dinner, you're the operant power. When you're manifesting, if you're moving the body, you're the operant power. And nothing and no one out there has any power over you unless you give it to them. Unless you give it to them. I don't care what society says they are. They work for you. And in that moment, if they're playing out a script and it looks like it's not to your benefit, and you realize that during it, let it play out, right? I'll give you an example real quick. In my neighborhood, we have these stop signs, and I stopped at the stop sign, and there's up the hill, I could see there was a cop car. I could see that, but I stopped at the stop sign. I crossed the stop sign, but I barely could see him where I was, but I saw that he was there before the car moved. And then next thing I know, I'm getting pulled over because the cop said he didn't see me stop. But I saw that he was there, and I saw how many houses back he was. And when he pulled me over, he's like, you didn't stop. Oh, but yes, I did. And we went back and forth, and I was not budging. And the reality has to shift to you. It has to. Not once did I know anything different than what I chose. So it doesn't matter whether you're in court. It doesn't matter whether it's happening on the street. You get the final say. And the other thing I wanted to share, another thing, is revision. If you're taking something from your past and you're wanting a different, if you said yes, you're going to say no. I do revision a little bit differently because I don't even want you going into that thing. We will create a whole different scenario because all you're doing is choosing a different reality, not a different outcome. Every outcome is its own reality. Yes, the lampshade is awesome. And this past weekend, I made pierogies, homemade pierogies. I made the homemade dough and got the meat ready. And my daughter was having a party and she asked me to make them. And I shot a lot of video because making pierogies is a lot like manifesting. And I'm going to be putting that video together and sharing that video to show you everyday things that you're doing. You're understanding how all of this works. And now, in any given moment, present moment, the more present you become, the more the reality will start glitching. So all those glitching, all those light flickerings, all the Wi-Fi craziness and things showing up odd, it means you are more aware than you normally are in your reality, and the reality doesn't know how to behave, instead of the reality dictating to you and you don't know how to behave. That's how you know you've shifted things, because things will start to seem like you're in some weird movie where people and items and things don't know how to behave, because your subconscious is aware that you are super extra aware. And when you do that and you're calm in those moments and you become aware that your subconscious mind knows that you're aware, and the two of you can work in tandem together, oh, major things happen. All right, guys, I love that you're here. Part 3 will be in our private community tomorrow at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard. If you're not part of our private community, it's a free community. Go to the description box, sign up for it. All the previous part 3s are in there. You can go and watch them at any time. We do have a membership channel here now on YouTube for those people who don't want to go into a separate community or come off of YouTube. There's 3 different levels. You can go in and check that out. There's the join button. The only thing that I would say, if you're going to join through YouTube. Do not join through Apple. Apple adds extra cost onto whatever the cost is that you'll pay. You pay directly to YouTube and they send me something later on. So there's going to be extra videos that won't be available to the main channel. It'll be just for memberships. You'll be getting shout outs. So again, a big shout out to Linda. And again, thank you, Greta, for your wonderful gift today. You guys are freaking awesome. I love you to pieces. And every day, I'm so excited to put up the shorts. I'm so excited to do these videos, to put up the posts. Send me your requests, comment on the videos, share ideas. Let me know where you're at. Let's work one-on-one together, guys. I have one-off sessions, one-on-one 3-month programs. A group program will be coming up, and we're going to be doing that 5K for 5K challenge soon. I appreciate you so much. So until I see you again, Christopher and Stacy and Ryan and Greta and Lynn and God Queen, thank you guys so much for all that you do, all your comments, sharing everything. Until I see you again, happy manifesting. Let go of all the myths. If I missed any and you want another video, let me know. We'll go into it. Happy manifesting, and enjoy the heck out of this present moment and have so much fun. I want you laughing and having so much fun, because that's what this is all about. All right, guys, I'll see you next time. Enjoy.